To the cloud. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Finance on Saturday, the 6th of April. I'm your host, Steve Barnes. I believe that my wife, Tananarive, will be here shortly. She just landed at Ontario Airport. So once she gets her luggage and catches an Uber, she'd be here in 15 minutes. So that should be enough time for us to have the whole gang here. Um, I am really grateful to be able to do this today. After Manila, I got clarity on why I've practiced the martial arts all my life and that I got what it was that I went for. And now I am free to do whatever it is that's next, which is, more martial arts, but from a different place. And I'm anticipating going back to Manila in 2 years. And this is a great thing because the same preparation that I would use to go to Manila, I will be able to use to keep my energy for my career, my energy and my focus and my clarity. It's the same stuff, not to mention the fact of being the best husband to Tananarive I can possibly be. And if you know anything about Tananarive, you know only an idiot would not want to be the best husband to that woman that they're capable of being. I mean, I'm not going to be one of these people. Oh, if only I knew what I was missing. Then no, 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 no. I know right now who she is and what she is, and that she is a once in a lifetime relationship. I get it, and I want to be the best I can. I want to be the best I can for my son, uh, and I want to make the most out of the opportunities I have in my writing right now. I discussed some specifics about a career opportunity with the people who came early that I will not discuss publicly or put or have recorded or sent over to Facebook. But what I will say is that I have a wonderful opportunity right now to leverage the work that I have done up until this time to create major change in our lives. And when I say major change, I mean all the marbles. What will happen? Well, we're going to find out, won't we? I won't be able to, we're going to perform the experiment and you're going to see the results. If they work out, you'll know. If they don't work out, you'll know that too. Um, but what I can promise you is that the techniques that we're going to be using to align ourselves and raise our energy and so forth and so on are the same tools I'm giving you every week, and they're the same tools I've given my son. I might be wrong, but I am sincerely wrong. That's all I can say. I am not playing games here, not holding anything back, and I am profoundly grateful. We talk about the uh, the steps of the magic formula. The magic formula is my approach to peak performance on the road to mastery. There are I also encourage people to find other patterns. In other words, if I'm using the 5 minute miracle, that's a buy-in. You need to do that. And I'm using the magic formula, and I'm using the morning ritual, 5 minute miracle, magic formula, uh, morning ritual, three gates, three sinners, ancient child. Those strike me as the most basic pieces of this puzzle, but I also suggest that people find other models. For my son, that's Brendon Burchard's High Performance Six and the rapid planning method that Tony Robbins came up with. But there are so many others, and so that allows you to customize it to your needs, your religious or spiritual background, whatever. I don't want to conflict with anything. I just want to make sure that you have a map or model of what you're doing. You're taking daily or weekly action. You are deliberately generating positive emotions every single day. And you have clear goals, which we're going to be talking about more today. I'm going to be giving you 5 things that you need to have good goals. I'm always looking for the best way to convey these things to you. And you need to be sure that not just your goals, but your actions are in alignment with your soul. You don't do anything bad to get to somewhere good. You don't do things that are out of alignment with your spirit. It costs you too much. No matter what anybody offers you from the outside, it is never worth losing yourself for. There is nothing anyone can give you from the outside that is worth losing your heart, abusing that little child inside you, or stepping away from your integrity. Nothing, ever. It just isn't worth it. And what I'm here to say is that it is possible to set goals in balance and with integrity and kindness and still get effective, massive results, positive results. There is no conflict between being a good human being and being a successful human being. Once you understand that being a good human being doesn't make you money, it's not being good that makes you money. However, I do believe that long term, honesty and kindness win out because the people you want to do business with, if they feel you treated them honestly and kindly, they'll want to do business with you again. So before we go on, I would love for you to unmute yourselves and say hello to each other. Just kind of embrace the day. Just
Oh,
like,
hi
yeah,
everybody.
high
Happy
five.
April, everybody.
High
Boo.
fives on the side. See,
Rabbit, rabbit.
it,
Eh,
that's great. And in the chat, be sure that you're talking to each other, you're networking, you're offering resources, or you're asking for support. That's what this is about. I can draw you together, but you make the tribe. You make the tribe, not me. So, before I get into goal setting, I wanted to comment uh, about sun salutations. I'd commented that I'd started. I'm always looking to improve my routines, and I'm using the 5 minute miracle, and I'm spacing out my workouts short during the day, which allows me to also. That's a Pomodoro thing. Every hour you take 10 minutes break. Every couple hours you take 20 minutes break, whatever it is. I'm using that technique, which is really valuable for increasing the efficiency of thought if you have to work a long day, getting up and walking around or exercising or whatever. Um, and I'm combining that so that my workout is actually there. I'm doing doing sun salutations. I'm doing martial arts, and I've actually got some physical exercise things I do. So health and skill and performance and fitness are all handled, and I do it 5 times a day for brief periods of time. Might not be more than 5 minutes, but ultimately I'm going to be increasing those things. But one of the things I found out is that doing joint mobility, which I've talked to you guys about a lot, and one sun salutation every morning and every night had a very positive effect. Didn't take very long. It didn't take a lot of energy either. I mean, I found that there's some things that I try to do at night. For instance, I can't do the 5 Tibetans every night just before I go to sleep. I wear myself out during the day, and by the time I am ready to go to bed, I don't want to do nothing except chill, watch Robot Chicken or whatever it is we're watching, hug my baby, and then, roll over and go to sleep with my cat sleeping between my legs. I mean, it's but I can do joint mobility in a Tibetan, and that's I seem to be, so I can do that in the morning when I first wake up, literally first get out of bed, and I can do it last thing before I go to bed. And I noticed that my body felt lighter, more flexible. I really was not just removing tension from my body, but also there's spinal alignment stuff in there, and the alignment of shoulders and hips. And there's a lot of good things in a sun salutation. So I've been doing that for the last couple of weeks. It felt just fine. Actually, I've been doing it for about the last month. It felt really fun. Uh, Jamie says, let's see. Got it. Let's see. Sun salutation, first thing and last thing is a great bracket on the. I think so. And think, of course, you can, while you're doing it, you can think about what you intend to accomplish that day with your breathing. And if 5 times a day during your 5 minute miracles, you very briefly think about what it is you have to accomplish today and how it fits into your overall plans, and maybe the role models that are helping to advise you psychologically. You can do all that in seconds, just flash on it. Um, and then at the end of the day, you can think back over the day. Was I in alignment with my heart? Did I do the things to move my life forward? Yes. Great. No. Well, where did I go wrong and how can I fix that tomorrow? Very, very briefly, no guilt. It's just an experiment. You're just kind of having fun. You separate yourself from the results enough that you can look at both your strengths and weaknesses without feeling guilt about it, but you can still feel a little pride. And I understand totally that's a game. That if I were enlightened, I'd feel neither guilt nor pride. But I'm not. I'm just awake. It's different. I'm more awake than I used to be. Um, so what I discovered, if you take a look at this chart, what it has, and if you do a Google search and look up sun salutations, you will see that there are two commonly performed sun salutations. Salutation A, which is the one that most people know, and salutation B, where you are doing bent knee lunges as one part of the process. You can see that just over my shoulder right there. You see the person who's standing there with the bent knee? That's a B sun salutation. So I just added one of those. And if you go on the internet, you'll find that. And it adds about a minute, but I did it. I tried it for the last couple of days, notably last night and this morning. Sort of, I did both of them, only added about a minute, but I felt younger. It was odd. There were some things that were different about the way my body was reacting that did not remind, it's not about fitness. It's more about, how you used to feel different when you woke up in the morning when you were younger? It was that. Now, y- y- you're being asked to do something, the joint mobility and Tibet, but you're talking about 3 minutes. I could put on any song, and in that period of time, I've done that. And I'm looking at that, and I'm saying, I don't know where this goes. I mean, I'm looking at very, very short periods of time. The sun salutation is done 5 times at the beginning of the Ashtanga Yoga sequence. And Ashtanga Yoga is arguably the masterwork of the greatest yogi who ever lived. It's arguable. I could make that argument. Um, and yeah, his name was Krishnamacharya, and his three main students created three of the major schools of yoga that exist. Deskachar, who created Vinaya Yoga, BKS Iyengar, who created Iyengar Yoga, and K. Patabi Joyce, who supposedly created Ashtanga Yoga, supposedly discovered Ashtanga Yoga. It's my belief that Krishnamacharya actually created it and gave it to Patabi Joyce. So if 5 sun salutations are done at the beginning of this sequence, and it's the most powerful form of yoga that I know of, um, that uses the alignment of Iyengar Yoga plus a sequencing that makes it aerobic in the same way that, let's say, walking is aerobic or walking hills is aerobic. So, looking at the sun salutations and saying, well, what if it's a perfect template notion. Would being able to do a perfect sun salutation imply a very high level of health, alignment, and so forth? I think I can make that case. And considering how little time it takes, strikes me as being something that's worth investigating. So I just wanted to offer that to you. Um, Now let's talk about goals a little bit because goals are intentions in the magic formula. You have mapper model, action, gratitude, intention, and conviction, courage, congruence. The intention, the I, is for goals. It's what is it that you, where's your endpoint? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And I wanted to talk about five different things that you should think about with your goals. And let me make sure that I've got the right ones. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see, maybe six. Wow, I can think of one more. Should We are so makeshift around here. We really are. I have this goal of creating a little mini studio in my house because we could do that. We could do this show in our living room with my son, running the sound and the camera, and we could do so much there. And I think at some point I will. But right now, what's important is being able to communicate with you as directly as possible. So I hope you can forgive if the sort of patchwork nature of all of this. Uh, so let's take a look. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I can combine these two. Yes, because if I can combine this, then it's five things. Yes, five things you should think about when you're creating goals. So, who's up to hear what Steve Barnes thinks is the five most important things to think about when you're creating goals? So just put your hands up. Just make sure. Okay, well, I get more people saying yes than no. So, ah, that's great. So the first thing is, goals are dreams with deadlines. Okay, so it's understanding the difference between wanting to do something and dreaming to do something and actually having a goal to do it. Really, really important. So the primary thing, and I'm gonna change this too, is your goal should be SMART. 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 That means specific, measurable, as if now, realistic, and time bound. Let me explain what that means. A specific goal, you don't want a goal to have more money. You want a goal to earn an extra $10,000 a month or $10,000 a year or whatever. Money does not come in denominations of enough. It comes in denominations of tens and twenties. So you need to be specific. I want to have a good vacation is a more specific, a more general goal. I want to go to Disney World is a specific goal. I want to go to Disney World on August 21st is a more specific. I want to go to Disney World August 20. I want to drive to Disney World with my family, have the time of our lives while we're traveling, and have a fantastic experience at Disney World is more specific still, if you can understand what that is. So that's S, specific, measurable. I've also heard M being meaningful, but let's say measurable. Ideally, you need to be able to measure when you're getting closer to or further away from your goal. That if your goal is to make more money, you need to be tracking your money. How are you, you're checking your bank account, you're looking at the contracts, you have some way of evaluating it. If you're flying between Los Angeles and Honolulu, the plane is off track 90% of the time. So what happens is that the pilot has to be constantly checking orientation, constantly checking orientation. Are we off track? Are we going this way, this way, this way, this way? And it all evens out. The more often you check your results, the faster you'll be able to progress because you're looking at how is the world reacting to your behaviors. If the world is reacting to your behaviors in a positive way, keep doing more of that. If it's reacting to you in a negative way, try something else. It's kind of simple when it comes right down to it. As if now has to do with talking about your goals in the present tense. And this requires a little bit of artistry, but it is, I weigh 180 pounds. I have $1 million net worth. I am a black belt, whatever it is, that you begin to experiment with feeling how it feels to own these things. And like I said, it requires a little bit of trickiness because it's, what Tananari refers to as throwing her hat over the fence and then climbing after it. It's fake it till you make it. It is. But if you can imagine yourself having or being a particular way so clearly that you can own it, you can see what the world looks like from that position, it's much easier for you to accomplish it. Somebody asked a question this year, as if now, not action. Um, Action is the A in the magic formula. We're talking about SMART goals, SMART, not the same thing. SMART goals have to do with how to set up a goal. Okay, the magic formula is map or model, action, uh, constant action, gratitude, intention, and character, conviction, congruence. SMART goals are specific, meaningful, or measurable, as if now, realistic, and time bound. Different acronyms, different purposes. This is so that when you're creating a goal, you make sure that you have all the elements you need for that goal to be powerful. So, realistic connects to that modeling thing. My attitude is if anybody else has ever done it, I can do it. Now, a more conservative version of that is if anybody else could do it, starting with the resources that I have, I can do it. If you want to broaden that out, or if you want to get even more powerful, I want to model the people who had fewer resources than I have and got further than I want to go. So that I got none of this, well, I can't make it unless society changes, which is, there's truth. That's true for groups. It's absolutely true for groups. Social oppression drops the curve on your group. But it doesn't have anything to do with what you as an individual can accomplish. And if you want to help your group, help yourself as an individual first. Then you will know how to help the group. So specific, meaningful, or measurable, as if now, realistic. If anyone else has done it, you can do it. Find some definition of realistic that you can use. And time bound. Your goal has to have a date. Dreams are goals. Goals are dreams with deadlines. So that's SMART. The next step, that's the first thing for goal setting. Any comments, questions, or requests about that really quickly before I move on? No? Okay, well, you can raise your hand later. The second thing is you should have goals in all three major areas of your life. You need to have a physical goal, health and fitness, an emotional goal, relationships, including your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your creative child, however it is you want to look at that, and financial goals. So this devils so many people. The people grow, if you grew up in a family that did not have a healthy relationship with money, or there were people in the family who had money but they were bad people, or they hurt people to get their money, chances are very good you have negative beliefs around money. And nothing works in the adult world in the way that money works. Nothing. Money in many ways is the coin of the adult world. It's one of the ways that you know that you've grown up. Just to be as blunt as I can possibly be, because I want you to succeed. If you have those three goals, then you can do something really fun. Look at each of those three goals and find ways that each of those goals enables the other two. If I have goals for myself physically, I have energy that I can put into my career. And I have a body that is flexible and powerful and sexy that I can offer my sweetheart. Or I can be a good role model to Jason, who is very physical. So he looks at his dad, he knows his dad is maybe a little older than some of his friends' dads, but I can kick all his friends' dads' asses. So it all works out. Money in your career. I can use money in my career to benefit my family. And I can get things for Jason. We have this beautiful house. We can go to these wonderful places. I can help other people. Every Christmas we give away thousands of dollars, and I can bet people $100 that if they'll use my system for 3 months, they'll change their lives. And I'll say, $100 against nothing just to try it. It is fascinating, what happens when I do that. People's brains, they can't believe that I'd actually say something like that. Or my family, that when I do the blessing dance, or I do my daily meetings with Jason, and we are uplifting him, and I'm reconnecting with my wife, or if I do the 90-day love feast for my wife, I'm also strengthening our partnership career-wise, obviously. And uh, that makes us money, yes. It also, the more I love her, the more motivation I have to take care of myself, the more protective of her I feel, and the more I want to live as long as I possibly can to enjoy my life with this beautiful, wonderful, brilliant woman. So if you can see, each goal supports the other two. When you do that, if your goals, each of your goals is supporting the other two in terms of the three centers, motivation becomes automatic. I never have any question about why I need to do the things I'm going to do. And if I cannot connect things to the other things that are important, why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Why am I doing this if it's not better for my family, if it's not good for my body, if it's not good for my career? What exactly is my motivation? So I don't do things that I can't connect there, but if I'm doing something, I can motivate myself instantly. 20 years ago, I paid $5,000 to spend 2 days with an NLP guy who was the best friend of one of the biggest success coaches in the world. I couldn't get to the big guy, but I could get to his best friend, who's one of his teachers. And I could spend 2 days with him, and he discovered that anytime I talked about my daughter Nikki, my energy just exploded because I have a direct and uncomplicated love for my daughter. I just adore her. It's not complicated at all. I adore Nikki. So anytime I think about Nikki, my energy goes bang. So when you connect your goals together, they support each other. You never have any question about why you're doing something, and it becomes easier to stay on track. So, once again, before I move on to number three, any comments, questions, or requests about any of this? And this is all going in the book, obviously. So I'm talking about this exhaustively, and then I will have this transcribed, and it's going to go in the book. But do you have any questions right now? Just raise your hands if you have any questions about anything I've said so far. No? Okay, great. I can keep going. Number three is a different goal setting strategy than SMART goals. It was created by a man named Tad James. It is called timeline therapy. And it comes out of a therapeutic model. Let me see if I can change my background here and give you. Okay. So what he did was he created a model where you, let's say that you're sitting where you are and it's the present, and the thing that you want to accomplish is the future, and you're seeing a line of energy, a line of light between where you are and this future goal. And what he does through hypnotic inductions is to help you create visual metaphors for your beliefs, your values, your emotional charges, and the thing that you want. If anything that I want to accomplish, if I want to earn a black belt, and I've never studied martial arts, there are certain beliefs, I would have to believe I'm capable of doing it. I'd have to believe that it's a good thing to do it. I have to believe that my teacher can help me do it. I have to believe that this school is the school where I want to train. You understand? They're just a series of beliefs. And it'd be easy to have beliefs that counter that. You might believe that it's bad and wrong to study violence. You might believe you don't have the right to hit somebody to defend yourself. You might believe that martial arts are bullshit. There are any number of different things you could believe. So your beliefs would have to support your actions that would take you to the goal. So would your values. Your value hierarchy, what is most important to you? Most important thing to me is my family. Next most important thing to me is writing and things connected to that, which would include this. The third thing that's really important, martial arts. So that's very, very, my values are clear about these things. So if it does not meet one of these values, it's easy to see that I don't need to do it. And if it does, it's easy to see to do it. If money is the last value out of 10, and eating pretzels or going to basketball games or laying in a hammock is a higher priority for you than working, in all likelihood, you're going to have problems developing money. So you want to take a look. Do your values, your value hierarchy, support your intentions, your daily actions that will lead you to your goal? Emotional charges. If you've been badly hurt about something, you could have negative emotions attached to doing it. In other words, if you want to own a puppy, but you got bit by a dog when you were younger, you might look at dogs and without having any conscious thought about values or beliefs, feel like no. So what he did was he extended this timeline into the past where you came from, present, toward the future. So you just sit there and you see this line going to your future. Once you create this construct, once you've tested it and once you believe in it, you can actually ask yourself, so I have this goal of doing a good job on this script. Let me look at my timeline. Do I believe I can do it? Do my values support it? Do I have any negative emotional charges connected with it? No, my beliefs say I can do this. My values say I should do it. And my emotional charges are all, this is great. I can do this. I'm going to have fun doing it. It's going to be a good time. Because remember, we're set up to move away from pain toward pleasure. So if you can look at those three things, what do you believe? What are your values? And what are your emotional charges? And create a visual metaphor for it. So, and my guess is that there are other things too. Alexander might create a sound, an auditory metaphor, a sound. Can you hear the music of your life? And the music leads you directly. I don't know. It might be kinesthetic. Do your feelings support it? But that's another thing, that your beliefs, your values, your emotional charges all need to support what it is you want to accomplish. And if they don't, this is where meditation, therapy, journaling, and things like that can be very useful, because you want to make those changes so you're taking all of your brakes off. Okay, let's stop right here. If that makes sense, if this makes sense so far, raise your hands. Does this make sense to? Okay, great. So that's the third thing that you need. Smart goals, balance in all three areas that support each other, and that your beliefs, values, and emotions all line up. The fourth thing is what I'd call atomic goals, that your goals have to be broken down into tiny chunks so that you can evaluate them daily or weekly. I do not suggest waiting longer than, every week. You need to be making one step towards your goal every day or every week. And you want to measure, how did you do at it? Okay, that is what enables you, and not only how you did at it, but then did this get you closer to your goal further or further away? If you can do this every day, you're miles ahead of a smarter person who only checks once a year or even once a month. A genius who only checks once a month can be outperformed by somebody with average intelligence who's checking 5 times a day. And the fifth thing is constantly check, is this in alignment with your soul? does the goal, and maybe this is connected to number three, your values, but I feel like we should pull this out and look at this. Is this who you are? Now, this connects very much with the magic formula. Notice that, this is not in a fight with the magic formula. Magic formula contains these things, but I just wanted to expand them because your intention, your goal is 1/20th of the process. You need to understand that you can skate across the surface or you can dive deep. We could dive as deep as I've just broken down about 50 different things that are components on goals, and I could take each of those things and lecture on them for an hour. So you need to create your own sense of how do you know that your intentions are clear and powerful and possible, and how are you going to measure whether or not you're moving closer to them or going further away. So that's my talk on goals. And now, please, this is we're at the part of the broadcast where you ask, comments, questions, requests, brainstorming, or victory stories of what's happened over the last week. I've asked some people to give us reports on how their week's going. So, who's first? Volunteer, or you will be voluntold. Oh, somebody is setting the caption to English. Interesting. That's cool. So, who has a question, comment, or request for me? I've just dumped a lot on you guys. You can't possibly tell me that all of it was crystal clear. Okay, Orion, uh, you're muted.
I have a specific idea, a question.
Mhm.
In submitting short stories and such, can I use the ones that I have put on my website?
It depends on the publication. Most will not appreciate it, but they might take it anyway. Take a look at their editorial requirements.
Okay,
It will vary, but like I said, they would love for anything that they put up there to be unique. Nobody's ever seen it before.
that was my
But
feeling too, but I have so many backstories that are there that I'm gonna have to put out an anthology of
well,
just to do it.
I'd say give it a try. See
Okay,
what happens. It could be that they'll never know. Or you could revise it a little bit.
that's a point too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay, thank
Cool.
you.
Cool. Cool. Let's see. Oh, interesting. This. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Alexander James Adams, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I did. What I'm wondering is if you could, my ADD is terrible, and I'm having, I'm in a place right now where I need to be connecting with people and getting them on board with our production company, and my elevator, uh, my elevator spiel sucks. It's too many notes, too many words. And can you give me a guide of how you set up an elevator pitch so that it's really tight and succinct?
Okay. So is the pitch for somebody to come in? What is the intent? What's your outcome?
Well, I need to explain what we do.
No.
And
No. No. No.
no, okay,
What is the
that's
result
good.
you want?
The result I want is to usually get somebody on board either for working with us and finishing our projects, or financially interested to support us.
Okay. So working backwards from that, you have to show them how it's in their best interest to do this for you. You have to show them how it aligns with their goals, their intentions, their needs, because people don't do things for your reasons. They do
Right.
them for their reasons. So what exactly is the benefit you are offering them? This is going to be true if you're selling refrigerators or vacuum cleaners or trying to get somebody to buy your movie or whatever it is you're doing. Understand why they would want to do it. Then you need to make your presentation to them as in as little a period of time as possible. Um, for instance, we are creating uh, we're creating an album that is has already been demonstrated to be to have a fan base, based on my previous albums. They're eager for it. I know how to reach them, and we just need this amount of money, and we're going to be able to return this amount of money. Pretty simple. It doesn't have to, I don't care. I didn't ask whether it was country western music or rap, whatever. You said you had an audience. That then allows me to be in the position of saying, show me the statistics on your audience. Let me take a look at your previous sales pattern. Let me take a look at that. Now I'm making a cost benefit analysis. I could put this money into CDs and earn this amount. But if I do this with this person, I could conceivably get twice as much. So yes, I'm taking a risk, but the risk seems to be worth it. Or you could want to recruit someone because they want to help. Say, I am going to be creating an album that relates to this social cause. This social cause. I would like to help people in this particular way. That tells you not only how you convince somebody, but the kind of person you'd want to approach in the first place. Somebody who cares about that cause. Somebody who and then there are other people who simply want to be a part of something. They want to feel that they are helping make a difference in the world. They don't care as much about what it is as the fact that they will be loved and appreciated and part of a community. At which point you say, we're having a great time. We have some fantastic people. I think you'd fit right in. So it's if the end result is you want to be happy. In order to be happy, you need to make money. In order to make money, one of the things you're going to do is do this album. In order to do the album, you need people to help you. So when you approach them, you always know why you're doing it. You help them connect their efforts to why they want to do it. Now, another thing that I can give you is the influence pattern. How do you communicate with somebody in order to influence them? And it's a three-step pattern. The first thing you have to do is interrupt. No, no, no. The first thing you have to do is create rapport with them. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. So the first thing you have to do is make a heart space connection with them, for them to feel that you actually care. Now, con artists do this too. They do. So you are using the same technique con artists do, but hopefully you're using it within the three gates. Simple.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, knives can do all sorts of interesting things. Some of them are not pleasant. Others of them are just great. Um, so that's the first thing, build rapport with them. You say hello, honest smile. You find out something about them so that they have the feeling that you're dealing with them as a human being and not just an integer.
Right.
The next thing you do is interrupt their pattern. You have to get their attention. So if you were to say something outrageous, something that made them laugh, emotion is created by three things: what we focus on, how we use our bodies, and our language. So you want to shift their emotions because they were on their way to do something. They thought they knew what they wanted. What you're convincing them is, no, that's not, you didn't want to do that. You want this conversation with me right now. You had no idea, but I'm about to make your day. That you have to kind of come from that. You're prepared to do something fantastic for them because you're going to give them this fantastic opportunity. If you believe that, if you really believe that, you can find a way to communicate to people. Now, once again, that sales technique is also used by con men. So you have to make your peace with that and be very certain that you are staying within the three gates. You're telling the truth. You're offering them something that's going to make their lives better. You really believe it. And if they do this thing, it's going to facilitate something they care about. They're going to feel better, and it's going to make a change for them. So the first thing you do is achieve rapport. The next thing you do is interrupt their pattern by grabbing their attention. You got to grab their attention somehow. And the third thing you do is connect the action you want them to take with their own higher purpose. What do they want out of life? They ain't going to do it for your motivations. They might do it for their motivations. That requires you to know what their motivations are, which is why it's so important for you to have achieved rapport with them, so that they will talk to you about their motivations, so that you can see their humanity and you understand that everybody's trying to move away from pain toward pleasure. How are you helping them do that? You put all of those thoughts, now you create your 20-word elevator pitch. It has to grab their attention. It has to be courteous so that you're making some kind of connection. Laughter can work really great, by the way. That can do a lot. And you have to connect it to what they want. And what everybody wants is survival, sex, and money.
Right there, right there.
Yeah, right there. I mean, 80% of everything human beings do is about either enhancing survival, getting laid, or increasing their power within their tribe. Some people, pure emotions helping people, self-expression artistically becomes more and more rare. But if you can relate it to survival, sex, or power, you'll get most people, and even most really good and spiritual people if they're grounded. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that is going to help. At least it gives me I've been taking notes, so it gives me a little box of points that I can look at, because I'm like I said, I'm at that place right now where I'm having to recruit musicians and stuff to get the final things done. And
Show them, find out what their career goals are, their personal
yeah,
goals are, and come up with ways to help them.
yeah,
This is going to move you forward in this way. This is going to help you in this way. You know, they might be looking for community, they might be looking for money, they might be looking for artistic expression. Whatever it is, you help them see how it's going to do that. And if it doesn't help them in one of those ways, don't recruit them. Be honest about it, be kind
yeah.
about it. You only want to work with people if it helps them for their reasons. Okay. Now you can awaken them to reasons they didn't realize they had. But the same thing is true if you're writing a cover letter for a story. You want the editor to believe that publishing this story will move their career forward. So they want to know who you are. My name is such and such, and I published these things, and I'm really interested in this, and I think I have a story that's really going to work for your audience. You don't say, and please publish my story because I need the money. They don't care. They don't care. Show them how it's going to help them. Now you've got a chance. Now you got a conversation. Okay?
Okay, that'll work.
Alrighty. Great. Boom, boom,
Thank
boom,
you.
boom. Oh God, I'm so happy to, it's so much fun to do this. It really is. I'm gonna remove my pen and I'm gonna look out there. Who's next? Who is next? Jim Early. Hi, Jim. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. I've been trying to think how to answer this question more specifically. That's why I haven't raised my hand. I still don't really have a good grasp on what I'm asking.
Okay, let's work with it.
Okay, so you started with the specific. You need like a defined date on the goal.
Yeah, when do you want it to happen?
Right. What if, and then this is going to regress. So it's like, all right, I know I want to make it something physical, like build a car.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's going to take me because I haven't done the research yet. So, and you need to go back to another, all right, how do I learn how to build a car? Then
go back to the magic formula.
So you keep progressing it, but eventually I get back on some of my goals too. I don't even know what my next question should be on it. So you
okay. So stop for a second. Stop for a second, Jim. Okay. The first step in the magic formula is your map or model. You want to build a car? Study. Have you studied a dozen people who built cars?
No.
Yeah,
well,
that's what you need to do.
probably shouldn't have used that as an example because I hadn't even thought about that.
No, but it's a perfect example. Give me another one.
Um, let's take it out of the physical and make it something. Run a marathon.
You want to? Okay, that's physical.
So that's not my goal, but I wanted to move it over to something.
I understand. So let's say you want to run a marathon, and let's say you're a couch potato. So you would do a Google thing. How do I go from being a couch potato to finishing a marathon? You read a dozen articles on it. You will start seeing common information that will tell you.
And then I get okay. Then I guess, and then I get to a point where, oh, well, there's something that I find that conflicts with an emotional attachment that I have.
Okay,
Or-
give me an example.
So, becoming physical is what bullies do.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So you would then begin to run that through the three gates. You'd ask yourself the question, is it true?
No.
Okay. So you might say, well, yeah, bullies do it, but also so do heroes.
And I've been doing that, and I've been getting better about some of these attachments, but I don't have a timeline for when gonna get over that. So it's like, how do you
Okay. So
can
so
you set a
you
goal
look at
without
that.
knowing specifically when you're gonna do it?
So the best way to help you with this is for you to accept three goals: a goal financially, a goal emotionally, and a goal physically. Then we're doing practical work. We're really looking at it. All the emotional stuff you can think about will come up. But notice that the examples you gave were things that you do not actually have as goals. I would love it if you would give us examples where you actually are willing to, so that any work that we do is immediately applicable in your life. And it's easier to be specific, and it's easier for me to say something that's going to help you. So let's say that what you want is clarity on what you want to do. Because let's say you lack clarity right now. There's nothing wrong with that. And let's say that you could say that in 1 year, when is your birthday?
February 11th.
February 11th. By next February 11th, you are going to have a totally clear picture of what you want to do physically, financially, and emotionally. That you give yourself 10 months to get your shit together, to know exactly what you want. That's all the time in the world that you need. You would then take a look, well, what are the different options physically? What is it I'm trying to do? I want to feel better when I wake up in the morning. I want to have twice as much energy. How about money over here? If I have 50% more money, that works. What about emotionally? I'd like to improve my relationship with my wife, or I'd like to find a partner. Okay. By starting with any goals in those three arenas and saying, yes, I'm willing to make a commitment, you get started. As long as it's kind of fuzzy out there, there's a part of you that isn't committed to engaging. And that allows you to kind of float over the surface of things. But if you were to say double your energy, double your money, and double your happiness in your relationship, nobody's going to argue with that. As long as it's not misaligned with your values. If you believe on some level that the body is evil, that you can't have money without hurting people, and that love is pain, then you would be able to start interrogating those things, saying, okay, I don't believe in this anymore, but I have that voice in my head. At which point, you get another goal. How do I deal with the voices in my head? You look at the thing you're trying to accomplish, and you look at what it would take to get it, and then you take a look at what's stopping you. And it's all good. Most people don't look at this stuff, Jim. That if you become aware of the things that are stopping you, you're vastly ahead of the game. All you have to do is be honest. I have fear around sparring in the martial arts. I need to spar in order to get my black belt. I need to learn how to deal with that fear. I have fear of being hurt in a relationship. I've been hurt before. I can't do the love feast and live for just to give my wife happiness. What if she hurts me? I can't do that. Let me take a look at that. Money I'm an artist. I can't care about money. I'll become corrupted. I'll turn into a hack if I care about money. By owning the fact that you have these goals and then being honest about what comes up. And this is between you and you. You don't need to tell us your goals, and you don't need to tell us what's stopping you. It's none of our business. I can do all of this work without ever knowing what's really going on with you, as long as you give me analogous situations that address what it is that you're doing. Don't hide from me, but I don't need to know your personal business. That's not what I'm here for. But you need to know your personal business. You need to be keeping a journal. You need to be dealing with a therapist. You need to be meditating honestly on these things and looking at this question. And it's going to be critical for you to start with the assumption that you are beautiful and wonderful and worthy of love. If there is anything inside you that feels less than that, then you need to be clear on the fact someone lied to you along the way. Along the way, since childhood, someone put poison in your porridge. Okay? And it's up to you now to filter it out. We can ally ourselves, we don't need to know the specifics, but we do need you to be honest with us about your obstacles. If you say, I have fear in this, we can give you techniques for dealing with fear. I have a lack of clarity with this, we can give you techniques for that. Your soul is yours, but I want you to take actions that are in alignment with your soul. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that help answer your question?
Uh, it got me closer. Still not sure whether I'm going to be able to. Okay, you gave me a date for.
Yeah, by your birthday next year.
By next. Okay. Yeah.
So basically, you just keep working on this stuff. Here's what we know. Everybody, it's like closest to a universal goal I can think of is that old Mexican toast that I've mentioned before. Health, love, money, and time to enjoy them.
So can you not have other goals until you've got the specific ones? If you can't see the
Yes,
specific-
you can. You can have other goals.
but they don't.
I would suggest a goal in
goals.
each of those three arenas.
Okay.
I would strongly suggest that because it's easy to have a big bodybuilder body if you abandon your family and live in the gym. It's easy to make money if you abandon your family and ignore your body. And it's relatively easy to have, a loving family and have sacrificed your dreams and sacrificed your health. I see it happen. So if you have goals in all three, anything you do is helping you understand who and what you really are. Okay. And I would say that you start with the assumption that you are deserving of all good things. Right now you can look at me and tell me, why is Jim not deserving of the best in life? Tell me.
Intellectually, I can't tell you. I can't say that. But
Emotionally, you run into stuff.
emotionally, there's things that are blocking me.
That's right. That's right. Abuse, neglect, oppression, failures, all sorts of things can create the emotional stuff. So if you start with, if you had grown up in a perfectly supportive family, in a perfectly supportive society, you'd probably have the body of an Olympic athlete, be married to your soulmate and gloriously happy all the time, and make a ton of money doing something that you love. Anything less than that any goals less than that can be viewed as the damage that was done to you. So to be able to separate yourself from the voices in your head, separate yourself from the damage, that's a lot of what therapists are into, to understand that, that your life is not you. The things that are going on are not you. You're the observer of the things that are going on. You are the space in which these things are happening. Whatever it is, and whatever philosophies or religions or therapeutic, modalities that you use to create that distance so that you know that you're not your damage, it gives you the space that you need to ask, well, then who am I? And that can lead you to the notion that you are made of the same stuff as the stars. There's nobody on this planet who deserves happiness more than you. Of course, there's nobody who deserves it less either. That's all you need to believe that you're as good as anybody who's ever walked the earth, is to not need anybody to be less than you. That's it. We're just little pieces of protoplasm trying to get through it.
Yep.
And ain't it cool? So I want you to look next February. You are the healthiest, happiest, and most successful you've ever been in your life. Or you will have identified the goals that will get you there. Modified for this time in your life and so forth to be reasonable. But why not go for the gold, buddy?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
If you had a child, a son who you loved more than anything in the world, and that little boy looked up at you and looked in your eyes and said, "Do I deserve success, Daddy?" You would hold that child and say 100%, and your dad will do everything in his power to give you that life. And he would hug you and love you. Have that kind of relationship with the little kid inside you, and you have all the energy you need to accomplish everything that will help you reach your life goal, which is to be happy. That's the goal. Everything else just means to that end. Okay? Out of pain, happiness, and then once you've got it, I expect you to turn around and teach other people. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
If you'll make that promise, what I promise you is we will be here as often as we can, as close to every week as possible. I've been able to do it except for 1 week for the last year and a half. I will continue doing that. If you will help yourself and help other people to the best of your ability, we will help you.
Just a quick comment, and like this is more than I expected to get out of this question.
We love to over deliver.
And it's great. Couple months ago, I wasn't feeling as successful doing this, and you mentioned like you can reduce, and I realized I had been sabotaging what I've been trying to do because I was trying to do too much, and I stepped back on what I was trying to do, and I also been looking at it, and I've been feeling better in the mornings, and it's like I'm making more progress by doing less. And
You know,
it didn't make any
perfectionism.
sense to me, but I did it, and I took your advice to do it as an experiment, and I've been doing that in other things in life about changing something and for a week and seeing how it affected me. And some things didn't, and some things have.
Okay,
And
so question for you. Are you doing
Sure.
the breathing?
yes, that's been one
Excellent.
thing I didn't change.
Fantastic, fantastic. Remember that perfectionism is procrastination masquerading as quality control. Tony Robbins says that perfect is the lowest standard because everyone knows you can't actually be perfect. So perfectionism is actually an excuse to do nothing.
So I was trying to get more out of things that I had almost nothing in. And now I'm like, well, I just need to get a little bit more. Gratitude is one of the things that I've had the weakness. And
Well, as long as you don't have a zero in any
And-
of those categories,
yeah,
you're good.
and I felt like I should have had more gratitude than I did, but I didn't. And so it's like,
Trust
now
me.
just
Just
I started with am I grateful that I just got through the exercises for yesterday? Yep, great. Good.
that's right. You don't have a zero. That's all you need.
So,
That's all you need. The
Just
rest of it will come by itself.
Yeah.
Okay?
and I just wanted to point that out that I was able to make a change and get it. I feel like I'm getting more progress. Thank you.
Well, we're proud of you, Jim.
Thanks.
Shimzuru. Yes, my baby is back. Yay.
I was waiting to make a dramatic entrance. Been crouching on the floor for a while now.
Yeah, I heard you.
That was the cat.
Yeah. We want to go on. Well, it's you don't have to get on your computer if you don't want to.
I might.
Okay, she might. But Shimzuru,
Yeah, how you doing?
fine.
Sorry,
Am I pronouncing you properly?
You say it how my teacher says it, Shimzeru.
Shimzuru.
Yeah, Shimzeru. Shimzeru.
Shimzuru.
Yeah,
well-
it's like more emphasis on the Heru.
How are you, friend?
I'm well. I'm doing well. Busy. I'm well though. How are you?
Doing great. I just kind of wanted to, wanted you to check in and kind of see, how you've been doing since we talked to you last, and if there's anything we can do to serve you.
So since the last time that I was here, I just been writing, striving to write every day. Yesterday was the first day that I didn't have that opportunity to write the story, but I did finish a poem.
Good.
Because it's National Poetry Month, so I just been working on poetry.
Yeah,
Um,
Ray Bradbury used to write a poem every day just to warm himself up.
yeah, I feel like that's a good mental exercise.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm striving to do right now. But yeah, I started to work on a story that I stopped a long time ago, and I started to work on it again. So I
So
just
you're
really
gonna
excited.
finish that story by the end of the month and submit it?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There
I'm
you
probably
go.
not gonna submit that story, but I'm gonna submit the turtle juice story that I'm working on.
That's fine. It's fine. You can write stories and throw them away as long as you're finishing one a month.
Okay,
Just finish one a month. It's you're on track, and as
right,
long as you're doing that, we can coach you and help you.
right, for
Okay.
sure, for sure.
So, do as many other things as you want to do, but if you'll stay on that particular track, that track we understand. We understand that path very well, and we can support you. Is there
Okay.
anything I can do for you today?
Um, no, I just been trying to write down as much notes as possible. I'm right now I'm in my booth, so I just have a lot of distractions. But no, today has been pretty cool. I'm really excited to be here. I've been telling all of my friends and family about this place. So
Yeah,
when you
well,
all,
feel free to share the links, and especially the link stephenbarneslist.com.
mm,
If, so that's how this grows. We only want it to grow because one person suggests it to another. I don't do any ads for this, none at all. This is either going to grow organically or it doesn't deserve to grow. And if
no,
I just get to serve the people that are right here, if two people show up, I'm serving you. If one person shows up, I'm serving you. I'm going to give you everything I got. I don't care. What I care about is that there are certain rules to the universe, and one of them is that we give back.
for sure,
That's it. All
for sure.
right. So
Yeah.
you are welcome anytime. So are your friends and family. You take care and keep us posted. Keep writing. Okay.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah, I got
All
you, man.
right.
All right.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So let's see. Let's see. Mary's Otter Pilot. Is Mary's Autopilot there? Yes? No? Maybe? Maybe
Mary's
not.
autopilot isn't there because it's just
Okay,
autopilot.
Mary Loadout?
But Mary is here.
Mary. Okay, well, you didn't raise your hand, so I will raise it
I
for you. How you
know,
doing, Mary?
I know, I know. I'm I'm doing I'm doing pretty well. I'm
Excellent.
doing pretty well.
Okay, are you breathing?
Oh yes, breathing quite
Excellent.
well.
Excellent. Is there anything we can do for you today?
No, not today because I'm focusing in a different way now. I'm doing some things for me that I haven't done before, and I'm focusing more on healing my inner me
Yes. Are
because
we
that
talking about reducing pain or increasing pleasure?
increasing pleasure.
I love it. Ooh, baby. So there you go. There you go. Well, that's
Well, because
fantastic.
I think the pain is buried so deeply that I'll have to increase the pleasure by slowly pushing away. You know, the thing, if with this much crap in here, there has to be a pony somewhere.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm pushing away stuff that I haven't dealt with because I didn't find out until I was 42 that who my mother was really my aunt, and who my aunt was really my mother, and who my father was really my uncle. And I found out my real father was from Trinidad, and he knew all about me, but I didn't know about him. And I didn't find this out until Mama and Daddy were dead. So then I had to deal with, okay, Opie's still alive, my biological mom, and I've lived with her all my life. And now I get to recognize her as who she was.
Yeah, a lot of conversations that never happened that you're going to need to work your way through.
Mhm.
Um, so what is your greatest challenge here? What is the result you want? What do you want out of this?
What I want out of this is to find really and truly what I'm supposed to be doing in this life.
Yeah, gotcha. So you feel that if that by sorting through these things, you'll be answering the question, who am I?
Yes.
Okay, and you're probably right to a degree. I mean, that it is good work as long as you're working, as long as you're not dependent upon the words of other people, because they're conversations you ain't gonna have. But if
Oh,
you could
everybody's
conceivably have those
trans.
conversations within yourself, you can meditate your way into those conversations if you need to.
Yeah,
Just
because
just keep.
everybody's gone.
That's right.
Everybody is gone now.
So the important thing is that you connect with your own heart, and it's really critical that you connect with that child part of you, the child part of you that wants to be loved and nurtured and told that you're precious and beautiful. You may have to do that for yourself. And with these other people as advisors or secondary, you may have to make the primary connection between your child, your adult, and your elder. It works. It is not the only thing that works, and I hope you will find the resources that you need to move forward. It sounds like a perfectly valid quest, sweetheart.
But the interesting thing is, I lived with everybody except my biological father, and
Mhm.
I was an only child. I am an only child, and I was the center of everybody's world. But I mean, everybody loved me. They broke the bed down because they sat me in the middle of the bed, and everybody sat around me. So, but just not just not knowing the truth. And when I was born back in the day, it was not popular to be a baby mama. You were a bastard child. And mama and daddy kept having miscarriages. Opie got pregnant out of wedlock. And he wanted her to get an abortion. She said, I'm not getting rid of my baby. She gave me to mama and daddy because they wanted kids more than anything in this world, but couldn't have them. So I was her gift to them. But they never told me the truth. Mama was supposed to tell me, but she couldn't bring it into her heart to tell me because she didn't know how I would react. So daddy died, mama died, and Opie was then free to tell me who she was. And I looked at her. She said, because I used to always call her my other mother. I said, I came home after mama died. And I said, it's weird with mama not being here, but you've always been like my other mother. And she said, do you like having me as your other mother? And I said, yeah. And she said, well, I have something to show you or something I need to tell you. I said, you're my real mother, aren't you? And the tears just started running. And I said, well, who is my father? And she said, well, I can't tell you that. I said, you better tell me. And so she gave me his name. I found him and I called and I said, may I speak to Percy Gordon? And he said, this is he. I said, I don't know if I have the right person or not. Do you know a woman named Oprah Alexander? And he said, Oprah, is she well? Is everything all right with her? I said, well, yeah. I said, I'm your daughter. And he said, well, hello, dear. How are you? He knew all about me. He had pictures of me as a baby, as when I graduated, when I got married. I just didn't know he existed.
So what you need to do, one of the things you need to do is write all this down. Get it out of your head and your heart and onto paper. Then you can start asking yourself the question, what do you want to do with this? What is it that you can do with this that will heal you and increase the joy in your life? Right now, it's still in your mind. Get it on paper, okay?
Okay.
All right. I need to go, Otis, but thank you very much for sharing that with us, sweetheart.
Thank you for calling on me. You always do that.
I try to. I have powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Otis,
Hey, sir, how's it going?
you know, it's going great. Life is wonderful, Otis. It truly is. What can I do for you today, my very good brother?
Hey, man, I wanted to, again, that was last week that I got published. My story went up. I wanted to thank the community here because I saw that, like, Tom Barclay put me on blast in the chat and put my link up there, and a whole bunch of people read it. And that feels like fantastic that my people read it. I don't know. I haven't,
And that's
yeah,
wonderful. The one thing I will say to you, if it felt good, do it back. You promote these other people. You support the other people in the chat. I cannot do the fire dance community by myself. It's all I can do is guide, offer some templates of thought, but then what I need you to do is help each other and to be honest about what's going on. That's how this is going to grow. And I'm so proud of you and I'm so happy for you. It worked with you exactly the way it's supposed to. You're a
thank
perfect
you, man.
example of what it is I'm trying to do here. So
Yes.
good for you. And your lady in the background who's sitting back there thinking, yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yep.
What can I do for you today, sweet?
You know what? I just want to say I've been listening to everything else, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to make a buck and keep everything afloat. And um, a lot of what you're talking about is new to me, but I do have. You did suggest getting a copy of Think and Grow
Think and
Rich,
Grow Rich.
and
Download
I've
it
started on that.
today.
Yeah.
Today. Start
Hmm.
reading it today. If money
Hmm.
is your issue, there's no book that's ever been written that is better about that. There are other books that are maybe as good, but that's foundational. I can guarantee you everything that you want is going to be in the realm of either getting better at your product or service or better at marketing, better at sales. Just you get better at the thing, better at finding the people who need it and finding ways to serve them. Okay. Anything, all the money that you want comes from serving other people. So get into it, man. And if money is an issue, then you state that honestly and you decide how much money you need so that it's no longer that kind of issue. And it is reasonable for you, it's totally reasonable, I think, for you to increase last year to plan at increasing your income by 50%. That's 1% per week. So if that's a matter of using the magic formula, having a clear map of action, taking massive action every day, 5 to 10 separate points of action every single day, keeping your emotions high. And in terms of your relationship there, be sure that your lady feels loved and appreciated and that you are stepping up in a way you never have before because you love her. Okay? Clear goals, ruthlessly clear. Okay? And then you have to find the part inside yourself that knows that this is your destiny. This is who you are. You will not just survive, but you're going to thrive and you're going to put the world at your lady's feet. That's a man from the way I look at it. That's how a man feels. Okay? And like I said, I love what you did. Take the same lesson and apply it specifically to making money. And it's like, I would suggest that you plan on writing to make money, but you also have a secondary track. It's very difficult to make money in the arts. It's the same. If you can make $50,000 a year in the arts, you could probably make $100,000 a year doing something else. It's just that bad. Okay. So it's easier to do that. So if financial insecurity is an issue, then absolutely buckle down and just make a commitment that this is the year that you solve that shit. This year, now, and take an action today before you go to bed tonight. You download a copy of Think Grow Rich. You can find free PDFs all over the internet, and you read at least the first chapter today. Will you promise me that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you do that, and then next week we could conceivably actually walk our way through the book and talk about the reasons that it's structured the way it is, and the significance and how to use it. We can have that conversation. I want you to win. Okay, I don't want you to survive. Survival is for planaria. I want you to win, to
Survival is
thrive, to
planarian.
be joyful. You got me?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Counting on you, and so is she. All right. Okay. Who else? Who else? Let's see. Stephen Bauer.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
It's been an interesting week.
Tell me about it.
I left the doctor's office yesterday. I found out I've got an A1C of 13, which is apparently dangerous and working on kidney failure,
Uh-oh.
which is a gigantic surprise to me. So I have some achievable goals in my future to overcome some other things. But
So you have
I'm changing my fitness goals.
you have behavioral plans that would help you solve the health situation if you can change your certain behaviors.
Yes, change
Excellent.
my eating and exercise even more than I do. So,
Fantastic. Well, just if you will
but
formalize
that
those goals, write them
that
down.
that explains why I have been having problems losing weight, though.
Okay.
And you actually have a copy of my fitness goals written down. We emailed back and forth on it.
Okay. Okay. So what can we do to support you? 'Cause we want you to live.
Ditto. Keep doing this every week, and I'll keep being here.
Yes, sir.
That's the support
Yes,
I
sir.
need.
There you go. And we will do that. And let me show you how serious that is. I'm going to remove this pin. Okay, everybody who's willing to support Steve in being healthy, raise your hands. Raise your hands. You got a community here, buddy. You show up here. You support them in their dreams and goals and needs, and they will support you. Fair enough?
Down with it.
Will you let yourself be supported?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I love it.
Um,
I love it. I love it.
um,
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, so listen, if there isn't anybody else, I might end this just a little bit early because I haven't seen my wife in 2 days, and we have a bunch of interesting stuff to talk about and do. Some of you know more about that than others. Jaime, your hand is still up. Does that mean you have something you
Yeah,
wanted to ask?
yeah, just also in support of Steve there, and a report back from a month ago. I've been focusing on using the magic formula in my physical health and life. I had a doctor's appointment this week, and my A1C dropped down to 5.7, and I've lost another 8 pounds in the last month. So I wanted to report that success in that arena, and that
God, I'm so happy.
practicing this stuff one day at a time
Yes.
is having a real benefit in my life and encouragement there to see that
Fantastic.
you can succeed at this.
Absolutely. It's just one day at a time, buddy, and we will be here for you, okay? All right.
That's all.
And let's see. So, Shimzuru, did you have your hand up? Is there something I can do for you?
Yeah, I was just trying to see who was talking before the last person. Just
That was
so I could
Steve. That was Stephen Bauer.
Bauer. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Stephen Bauer. You get in there, support each other. This is how we heal the world, buddies. The country is having a lot of turmoil right now politically. I'm not asking anybody here about their politics. I do care about your humanity. I care about your ethics. I care about the degree to which you can love each other. Aside from that, I believe that America needs both wings of the eagle to fly. Let's be healthy together. And if we can care and connect on real levels here, this is the example of what I want. This is how I believe that America is going to heal itself, and to a certain degree the world. I believe in us, and I believe in you. I love being here every week. I look forward to it. As you know, today I actually bared a little bit of my own feelings about some things with the people who came early, and I really am appreciative of that. And we're going to close up a little early here, unless I see somebody else's hand pop up. I'm going to go downstairs and spend some time with my good lady wife. And that means that I would like to state, as I often do, that the divinity within me salutes and acknowledges the divinity within each and every one of you. Namaste. Take care. I genuinely love you and care for you and want you to have the best lives possible. If you want the same thing for yourself, this place, we're the allies you've been looking for. Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Oh, and by the way, join
Namaste,
Life Writing Preview.
everyone. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody. See you all next week.
Later.
Bye.
I'll bring friends.
Great.
Bye,
Bring as
everyone.
many friends as possible. We love them.